back because I predict these things.
Jimmy Crute takes on Ivan Erslan in the new co-main event spot of UFC Fight Night, Perth, Australia. Jimmy Crute, 29 years old, 6'2", with a 74-inch reach. He's 13-4-2 in his career. Has great wrestling, really strong takedowns. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt, also has a judo background as well. Mixes up his striking with his grappling very well. Has really good entries from his combos, kind of using his striking to set up his takedowns. He's tough as hell. He can be hurt, he can be rocked, but has a really good chin, really good cardio, can mix it up very well, grapple, striking. Always puts on a high pace for 3 rounds. Has really heavy leg kicks. Just very sharp hands. Pretty solid all around. Very good pressure-based striking. That's very effective against his opponents. Coming off of a win over Marcin Prokhnio to get back into the win column. Had some so-so performances before that. So this is a good fight for him. A good fight for him to kind of get a little bit of a streak going potentially. Taking on Ivan Erslan, who's 33, 6'2", with a 72.5-inch reach and 14-5 in his career. So he's going to be 4 years older. They'll be the same height, but he'll be giving up an inch and a half in reach advantage. So Ivan Erslan, I feel like he's kind of underrated. He's a decent striker. Has hands up, in position, elbows tucked, really good defensively, very good technique on the feet, good power, good boxing, good angles that he finds in his fights. Throws his punches, pivots, angles out, has really slick footwork as well. Pressures and counters his opponents, kind of pushing or pulling the punches out of them. Pushes forward, gets him to throw, looks to counter. So loves the right hand duck under left hook that I've seen him land and throw a lot in his fights. Doesn't throw a lot of kicks though. I feel like that would benefit him a lot to open things up. But other than that, has a really good chin. I think he got dropped in one of his last fights, but recovered pretty well. Has a lot of first-round KOs, so has a lot of finishing potential in early in his fights. Takes his time on the feet, sometimes too much. We saw that in the Sterling fight, the Navajo Sterling fight, where just felt like he just wasn't really opening up, didn't really have the confidence to really get his striking game going. So, but has major power, solid technique, good jab. Stand in the pocket and throw, good defensively. Doesn't have the best takedown defense though, 64%. Was taken down 3 times in each of his UFC fights by Ion Cutelaba and Navajo Sterling, which isn't a good look because Sterling's more of a striker. He has been looking to mix things up a little bit, become a little bit more well-rounded, but he does a good job of kind of popping back up though. You'll get him down, but he'll be down briefly, but has a real sense of urgency to hop back up to his feet. I'm gonna go Jimmy Crute in this one. Erslan, like I just mentioned, he can be taken down, versus Iwan and Sterling. Like I said, he was taken down 3 times each by those guys, and I just think Crute he's much bigger and the much more accomplished grappler than those guys. Erslan does a good job of staying safe all the time when it does go to the ground. Like I said, pops right back up, but I think Crute would do much better in those positions and take advantage of those grappling sequences we saw Erslan in his previous fights. Do a much better job of controlling him, kind of keeping him on the ground, hunting for submissions, landing damage, giving up takedowns as the fight progresses. That's the issue with Erslan. He'll defend a few of them, and then he'll start to kind of give up takedowns as time goes on, gives up his back immediately. We saw that in some of his fights, not fighting the hands when someone does get a hold of him. And I just think that's something that you can't do against somebody like Jimmy Crute, who's going to be hopping on your back, landing damage, looking for chokes, looking for submissions. He eats a lot of kicks as well. And Jimmy Crute, he's got big thighs, big legs on him. He throws really heavy low kicks. And Erslan, I just don't think he puts enough volume out there on the feet. I think Crute can pressure him with his boxing, set up his takedowns. I think he has the chin to take the strikes that'll be coming his way from Erslan in order to get his takedowns. But I think he'll get his takedowns and eventually get the sub against Ivan Erslan, who's shown that takedown defense isn't his best weapon, so to speak. Crute was susceptible to calf kicks against Bellotto. I don't think that Erslan's really going to take advantage of that, though, to kind of slow him down and slow his forward progression. But at times he does leave himself there to be hit, which is a concern because Erslan can crack, can't find your chin. Sometimes Crute comes in, leaves his head straight up in the air. What I noticed in this fight with Marcin Prokhnio is he kind of moves into the pocket but keeps his left hand down. Just kind of moves in with punches but doesn't really bring his guard back up quickly, just kind of leaves his chin out there, leaves his guard down to be hit. I think he just kind of stays there too long in front of his opponent in range to get hit. So I think that is a concern. I think that Erslan could take advantage in this one if he can defend the takedowns, get back up to his feet, and do as well as he was doing in the previous fights, and kind of keep it on the feet, and then maybe just opens up a little bit more, trusts his striking a little bit more. I think that he could find the chin of Crute and get him out of there. But just based on what I've seen and what I know Crute's game plan is going to be, I think Crute will eventually get him to the ground, start beating him up there, and find the submission. So I'm going to go Jimmy Crute to get this one done by finish. Thanks.